Okay, so we have our 6 boxes. This is so that you're making your apple the right size. So that's why you need to have them about equal. There's going to be a lot of things that you're expected to have as your apple. So it's not always a perfect circle. And in this one we can see this indent here. Now one of the things you're getting graded on is that there's a light outline. It should not be really, really thick like this. So you guys can kind of see. Also, there will be no bathroom breaks while you're drawing, because if you get up and move, then come back, it'll change what you see. So when it's a still life, you need to be sitting where you are and staying, because if you keep moving around, it'll change your drawing. So you're drawing what you see. And then the other thing is you're also going to be graded on, so no dark outline is one of them, and I'll list these on the board. Also, shading. So what I'm doing is just lightly filling this in so it kind of matches the same as the outline. And I made just a little tiny C shape so that I know where my center is.
Does it matter how the texture is like in the inside, or does it have to be all drawn in?
Well, you want to kind of use the side of your pencil, not the tip, but just to kind of shade this. Because what we're going to do is each of you will have a Kleenex. You're going to blend this in.
Oh.
And this will make your apple look more three-dimensional. And then, was this all one shade? Like if you were to look at this black and white, on the side here it's darker. And it kind of curves, so instead of just going straight down, I'm curving with the apple and just shading this a little darker.
No.
And then there's a little bit over here. And if I make it curved because this is round, it makes the apple look more round as well, instead of just going straight down.
Are we doing shadows?
We will be doing, yes, you are graded on that as well, shadows.
Is this our final, like drawing?
This is your final, and we'll work on it just today. And it's gonna be like time drawings. The first one takes you the longest because it's the first time you've done it. But then we'll add in things like details.
Well, it actually looks like shadows because when you like blend it in, it makes it look like it's actual shadows.
Yep, it kind of fills in the shape. And this doesn't have a stem, but if you had a stem, it would go in here. You would draw that in. The other thing is, it has all these little sugar dots, so you want to add those in. The other thing, so these are all details. Adding these darker lines that are not blended, having the sugar dots, making sure you have your stem, things like that. The other thing is there's also, so we've added darker spots, but what about, there's also lighter spots from where the light is hitting it. So you can just take your eraser and just kind of brush. So I'm not going back and forth like this. I'm just lightly brushing it across. And that's the light spots from the light shining on it. Also, if you go too dark, you can use your eraser to kind of lighten things up. The other thing is you're also going to be graded on cleaning up. So if you shade outside of your lines, that's okay, because you're going to take your eraser and you're going to go around and you're going to get rid of any dark outlines. Yep. It's called cleanup, at least on your rubric.
Clean up, everybody, everywhere, clean up.
Okay.
That's on the video.
So, okay, Seth, come on over here. Okay, if you are cleaning up, and let's say this is your apple and this is the shading on the outside, and you only go right here, but I can still see that there's pencil over here, you would lose points on that.
Okay. Get points for a dash like that.
No. That would be erased as well. That was just an example of how you don't want to go super dark. The other thing is right now my apple is floating. I'm just going to add a table line about 1/3 the way down so that it's not just,
Floating.
yeah. I'm not, and the thing is a lot of times you guys want to put your table line down here, but you want it so it's actually sitting on the table rather than right on the top of that line. And then your darkest spot is gonna be your shadow. So you gotta press kinda hard
I thought you said not to do that.
for your shadow, but not as your outline, because your outline flattens your drawing. And a lot of times it's very dark in the beginning, and then slowly, or like as you do less pressure, it kind of gets
How do you make
lighter.
the shadow make? How do you make a shadow look round?
And then you just
What kind of
around
question is
this.
that?
Shadows aren't question. Shadows
Exactly.
aren't round.
God,
They're square.
No, they're whatever. The shadow depends on what shape the light is hitting it at.
So circular.
All right. So see, this is what your apples are gonna look like. Okay.
Whoa.
So I'll list all the steps on the board.
You should put that on the
We're gonna do 10 to 15 minutes of you just working on this one. You should be working quietly. It shouldn't be loud in here because you should be focusing on your apple. If you do not have an apple, you may look on at somebody else's. If you know someone's looking on at your apple, you should not move it or do anything like that until they're done. The other thing is if you have a sticker like this, you must draw your sticker.
Oopsie.
Okay, if you have a stem, so you're not trying to make your apple look like mine, you're trying to make your apple look like the one in front of you. Also, see how big my apple is? It should not be a teeny tiny, it shouldn't be half this size. So it should be taking up most of the box.
What if you already took off
That's okay.
Yes.
Ariane?
Oh, I could put the sticker.
Yeah. All right, go ahead and you can get started.